If you want to be valued and irreplaceable in someone's life, the paradox is this: the less you try to control their feelings, the more powerful your presence becomes. Stoic philosophy teaches that true influence comes not from clinging, pleading, or proving, but from living with such inner strength, calm composure, and self-reliance that others instinctively realize your worth, and quietly fear the emptiness your absence would leave. Stoicism in relationships: becoming someone they value and fear losing. The question of how to make another person feel your worth and fear losing you is as old as human relationships themselves. Whether in love, friendship, or work, people naturally desire recognition, appreciation, and respect from those they value. Yet, the common mistake is to try to force or manipulate these feelings into the other person. Philosophy, and particularly Stoic philosophy, offers a paradoxical answer: you do not make someone fear losing you by strategizing ways to control their reactions, you make them feel your worth by embodying dignity, independence, and virtue so fully that your presence becomes irreplaceable. Stoicism, a school of philosophy founded in ancient Greece and developed through figures such as Zeno, Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, teaches mastery of the self, indifference to external outcomes, and alignment with nature's reason. At its heart lies the principle that we cannot control the external world, including the reactions of other people, but we can control our judgments, choices, and responses. Applying this to relationships transforms the dynamic. Your value is no longer something you ask others to validate, but something that radiates from the way you live and treat yourself. This essay will explore, in depth, how Stoic philosophy helps you become a person of such composure, character, and strength that those around you naturally value you and dread losing you. The core Stoic principle: control what you can. Epictetus famously taught this distinction. Within our control: thoughts, choices, attitudes, actions. Outside our control: other people's opinions, external events, outcomes. Trying to manipulate others' emotions or to force them into admiring you lies outside your control. Yet, paradoxically, when you stop chasing others' recognition and pour your energy into what lies under your own command, self-mastery, resilience, wisdom, people begin to value you automatically. For example, if you become deeply secure within yourself, aligned with your values, and capable of handling adversity with calm composure, others will feel an unconscious security in your presence. If you demonstrate that your self-worth is not easily shaken by flattery, neglect, or criticism, you project quiet confidence that commands respect. Thus, the Stoic approach is to redirect the question: instead of "how can I make someone fear losing me," the Stoic would ask, "how can I live virtuously, so that if they lose me, they lose someone of genuine worth?" Self-worth instead of validation. A central element of Stoic teaching is independence from external validation. Human beings tend to hinge their value on whether others notice them, affirm them, or treat them in a particular way. A Stoic viewpoint dismantles this fragility. You are not valuable because someone else affirms you. Your value stems from your reason, character, and virtue. Seneca often warned against living as if the opinions of others determine our happiness. To place your entire sense of worth in another person's hands is both dangerous and undignified. If you chase their validation, you lower your stature. If you stand firm in your own inner worth, they will admire you far more, and fear the emptiness your absence would leave in their lives. Hence, the first Stoic step: cultivate an identity so rooted in virtue, composure, and clarity that the other person recognizes your value not because you beg for their attention, but because your dignity shines through naturally. Virtue as the highest form of value. Stoics define the highest good as virtue. Virtue is divided into four cardinal aspects. Wisdom, the ability to judge rightly and live with reason. Courage, the ability to face hardship without shrinking. Justice, living honorably and treating others rightly. Temperance, self-control and moderation. When these qualities animate your life, people feel them even if they do not know how to describe them. Wisdom makes your counsel valuable. Courage makes your presence reliable. Justice makes you trustworthy to those around you. Temperance gives you serenity and makes you dependable. Now, imagine a relationship where one person consistently operates from wisdom, courage, justice, and balance. It is unlikely others would take such a person for granted. A partner, friend, or colleague who practices Stoic virtue is someone others instinctively respect and fear losing, not out of coercion, but out of recognition of the rarity of such presence. Thus, the Stoic way of making others value you is not manipulation but steadfast virtue. Independence as power. One of the strongest ways to inspire both admiration and a healthy fear of losing you is to demonstrate independence. Dependence breeds imbalance in relationships, while independence creates strength. Stoicism emphasizes freeing yourself from enslavement to passions, fears, and external outcomes. If you want a person to respect your value, you must make it clear, not through force or pride but through your conduct, that your well-being does not depend on their whims. You are with them not from need but from choice. This voluntary presence is powerful. When someone feels you are so self-reliant that you do not cling anxiously or desperately, they recognize your freedom. That recognition often triggers two responses: admiration for your strength, and concern over what your absence would mean. People value most those who are with them by choice, not necessity. Practicing detachment. Detachment does not mean apathy, nor does it mean cold withdrawal. For Stoics, detachment is the ability to care deeply while retaining sovereignty over your inner life. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about accepting the possibility of losing loved ones, wealth, or status, reminding himself that all things in life are on loan. If you cultivate such detachment, you paradoxically become more cherished. Why? Because when you relate to another not from fear of losing them, but from genuine enjoyment of their presence, your energy feels lighter and freer. Clinging creates pressure, freedom creates attraction. A lover or partner who knows you enjoy their company but do not collapse without it will instinctively value you more. They will know that their presence in your life is not guaranteed by need but by mutual respect. This both reassures and unsettles them. They value you and quietly fear the possibility of your absence because your independence highlights your importance. Living as an example. One of the central Stoic practices is to live as an example of clarity, moderation, and integrity. Instead of trying to persuade others verbally to value you, simply embody the standard of life that speaks for itself. If you show emotional discipline, people come to you in crises. If you show fairness, people trust your judgment. If you show resilience, people feel guided by your strength. By embodying this model, you gradually form an unspoken reputation. A reputation is not built on what you declare about yourself, but on what others consistently see in your behavior. Stories of your conduct spread quietly, among friends, colleagues, or family, and your presence becomes something those around you seek after. In personal relationships, this translates into being a partner or friend whose calmness steadies storms, whose humor lifts heaviness, whose judgment clarifies confusion. Someone who acts like this does not need to demand recognition. People fear losing them because such grounding presence can rarely be replaced. Removing neediness. Neediness erodes value in relationships. It signals that your center lies outside yourself and that you cannot stand firmly on your own. Stoic thought attacks this tendency at its roots. By regularly contemplating your mortality, the impermanence of externals, and the inevitability of loss, you train yourself to view other people not as possessions but as gifts. This perspective fosters gratitude rather than grasping. When you show up to a relationship without clinging, you project confidence. Gratitude instead of dependency gives a sense of fullness rather than emptiness. Others notice this. They realize you do not need their presence to survive but appreciate it deeply when it is shared. Such grounds are fertile for respect. Fear of loss without manipulation. Now, to return to the original question, how do you instill a sense of fear in the desired person that they might lose you? The Stoic answer is not by games, threats, or strategic absence, but by becoming someone of such composure and virtue that your absence would be deeply felt. If someone senses you have clarity most lack, calmness that steadies storms, and freedom that is rare in a world enslaved to approval, they will not want to lose you. You do not need to remind them, they will remind themselves. Daily practices to embed Stoic value. Morning meditations. Like Marcus Aurelius, begin your mornings by preparing your mind. Reflect that you will encounter people who may be unjust, selfish, or ignorant, but remember that they act so out of lack of wisdom. This gives you patience and adaptability in relationships, which enhances your stature. Negative visualization. Imagine losing the person you want to value you. Picture life without them. This practice cultivates gratitude for the time you do have and reduces desperate clinging. Ironically, when you treat them with more genuine appreciation and less grasping, they feel more valued and return greater respect. Voluntary discomfort. Practice occasionally going without pleasures, fasting, simplicity, small challenges. This builds resilience so you do not fear life without someone's presence. Such inner strength shows in your aura, making others realize you do not depend on external comfort. Evening reflection. At night, review your conduct. Did I live with composure? Did I treat them fairly? Did I depend too much on their reaction to feel whole? By course-correcting daily, you polish your character, which ultimately makes you more respected. Practical relationship applications. In romantic relationships, if you maintain stoic independence and gratitude, your partner sees that you are not dependent but deliberately choosing the relationship. They are more likely to value you and fear losing you, compared to someone who latches out of need. In friendships, a stoic friend who listens, offers wise counsel, and stands unwavering in crises becomes rare. Friends feel lucky to have such a person and dread the possibility of absence. At work, a stoic colleague who handles stress calmly, refuses gossip, and treats others fairly emanates professionalism. Such presence is valued by superiors and coworkers alike, creating professional security. The balance between indifference and love. A challenge some face in applying Stoic philosophy is misunderstanding it as cold indifference. True Stoicism does not advocate apathy but measured love, caring without clinging, loving without losing yourself. Marcus Aurelius still grieved and loved deeply but remembered that attachment is tempered by impermanence. Thus, in relationships, you practice cherishing the other while remembering you are whole without them. This paradoxical stance makes your love stronger. Instead of demanding, it becomes choosing. And few things are felt more deeply than to be chosen by someone who does not need you but values you. Conclusion: the Stoic secret of becoming irreplaceable. The essence of making someone value you and fear losing you through Stoicism is not manipulation, display, or calculation. It is returning to what you can control: your virtue, composure, independence, and gratitude. Live wisely, act courageously, treat others justly, and carry yourself with temperance. Release dependency. Cultivate gratitude. Become independent enough that you are with the person by free choice, not desperation. Let your dignified example shine so consistently that they see your worth without needing reminders. In the end, Stoicism transforms the question itself. You do not make people fear losing you, you become someone whose absence would naturally be feared because your presence embodies strength, serenity, and virtue. People may not articulate it in philosophical terms, but they will feel it. That is the Stoic path to being valued.